Hello everybody, my name is Sandra. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about all of the inserts that I have used in the past, I'm currently using, and ones I'll be using for 2025. So what I wanted to do is basically do a very quick review, I guess, on my experiences using the different inserts that I have used. I won't be talking about specific paper weights, but I will pen test all of the inserts for you, and we'll talk about the differences and what I like about them, what I don't like about them, and benefits of each of them as well. So I made a little note here for myself, and I sure hope this video isn't going to be all over the place, because I went down to my basement digging it Saturday and I found everything, but it's a mess. And I have everything. I think I have, well, you know what? I probably threw out my 2021 and 2022 inserts. I found some Weekly 2021, so I do have some from when I first started. But I started with the Blooms. That was my very first insert pack. And I also had the Beautiful Life from 2021. So I have purchased the Beautiful Life inserts every single year. And then for 2024, I didn't know if they were going to come out with a 2025. They are. Apparently, it's going to be the end of this month, which should be soon, considering it is the 23rd today. And I've been looking, but I haven't found anything yet. So I did go ahead and I purchased a 2024 additional to what I have now as a substitute, just in case they ever discontinue them. And so I'm just prepared to like redate everything. But I did buy one. They were on sale, so it was like $30, and I was like, I can't really go wrong with that, just in case they ever do run out. Now the year, if they do come out with 2025, it doesn't really matter, because I can use those 2024 for any other year if I redate them anyway. All right. So the next ones that I got, I believe I got the Flora, and the Flora that I have is different from the Flora that's currently available. And if they were to come out with these ones again, I would totally buy them. They're beautiful, and they have a little bit of a difference on them, so we'll talk about that. I also have had Seasons. I've used 7 Habits, Her Point of View, Leadership, which I'm using for 2024. I'm also using Her Point of View for 2024. And as for 2025, I'll be using the Carrara and the Sandstone 7 Habits. So those are all of the inserts that I have ever used. Ones that I was tempted to get, I wanted to possibly try Wonderlust and Serenity. I love the day on 2 page. So I only get inserts that have day on 2 page. And it allows me the room to write, because if I don't have that, then I feel like I'm missing something. Even if I don't necessarily use every single note page, I still feel like I'm missing. So I honestly have no idea where to start, but I think what we'll do is turn this over and I'll start at the beginning, because I think this is the 2021. Let's see. Yes. So this one, I don't know what I did at this point in time, because I mean, this was a couple years ago now, but I didn't use this one. So the weekly pack comes with a few things. They come with a future planning section. They haven't changed. I'm wondering if the ones that they released for 2025, since they are taking so long on them, I'm wondering if they're going to have a revamp, which is what I'm really, really curious about. So these ones are 2024. So I wonder if they have a date on them here. Yeah, they're 2024. Okay, so with the weekly Beautiful Life inserts, you get dividers, and they all come like this. They haven't changed. See, they haven't changed at all. They were released in 2021, 2, 3, 4. So the 4 years that they've been out, they have not. So yeah, so I've been planning for 4 years. It'll be 5 with Franklin Covey for 2025. But they have not changed. So I'm wondering if there's going to be a revamp for 2025. Okay, so the first page that you have is kind of like an overview of your month, which I love. I use this section for monthly goals. And then I have a section for birthdays, weekly priorities. Sometimes I don't use it. At the beginning, I didn't really use it but I think now lately I've been kind of coming to this page every month. Then you have a monthly calendar. So it's very slight on the website. It kind of looks like the pink at the top is darker, but you have a very slight pink tone at the top, and then the rest of the insert is completely white. So the thing I like about these is that they are not lined. So the lined inserts, I like to use them, like the lined monthlies, I like to use them for if I have like specific things to write down to track. But sometimes when I'm decorating my month, because I am a decorative planner, I sometimes prefer having it open like this because I can put whatever stickers and decorations I want to. And so I really, really like this. And sometimes, like if I'm using the monthlies from my other packs, my other inserts that I buy, I'll still use this page, and then I'll use the this part on the back here. So I'll glue the monthly calendar together, and then I just have like this overview page, and then I use the other one for its calendar. So sometimes I like doing that, but because I have options, I've got this weekly planner plus my daily planners, I can do that. But yeah, I think this is a really great option if you like a weekly. But I mean, most of Franklin Covey's weeklies are hourly, so they're not set out like this. This is quite different than anything that they offer for other planners. So on the next page, this is the start of the weeklies. You get a weekly meal plan. I use this every week. I have been pretty much since I started. I usually put the date under the day of the week, and then I put what meal I'm having. You can do breakfast, lunch, and dinner and snacks, or I just do supper because breakfast and lunch are pretty much easier for me, so I don't write those down. And then you can write a grocery list. I don't write my grocery list in here. I will pre-plan in here. If I'm wondering, I'm like, oh yeah, I should get this for groceries. But I actually have a separate section in my planner under my home section because I can't take this with me. I'm not going to take my entire planner with me to the store, and I also want to keep my weekly within my planner, so I don't take this part out. It's not like you can cut it off or anything because then you'll ruin your weekly. So the weekly section, I love this page. This page took some time for me to get used to, and the reason is because it's like just like this week of blocks, right? You've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then tiny Saturday, Sunday. So I'm used to it now. I like decorating in this, but when at the beginning I was like, I really like a weekly and I don't like the hourly weekly, and this is really the only other option. Now, her point of view does actually have a nice weekly, and I think Serenity has a weekly that you could use, but they're not as good as this one for decorating. I find like if you're a functional planner and you just write in your tasks, it's good. But I like seeing like stickers and little icons and stuff. So, and I use like a lot of my boxes for my Happy Planner stickers. So, yeah, I still like this layout quite a bit actually. And this is, if you guys have watched my weekly plan with me, you'll see this page all the time. Okay, as for this side, they give you a task list. So what I do is I have a monthly task list, a weekly task list, and then I transfer those things to my days when I'm not busy. So those are like overview task lists where they're not specific things I absolutely have to get done that day, but I have to get them done that month or that week, or at least I want to. On this side here, it gives you a section for top 5. You can write top 5 tasks, dream big. So, these would be like big goals. It says big goals here, but I would say like goals for the week, and then focus on the good. So like affirmations or positivity. But what I do a lot of the times is I white those out and I decorate it with either stickers, or I will put boxes from my Happy Planner kits, sticker books, and I'll write like, things to buy, things to do, stuff like that. And then down here, I do the same thing. You can use it for however you want. You can really tailor it to your needs, but I change mine up a little bit. And down here, sometimes I'll put washi, sometimes I'll just add more stickers, or sometimes I'll add like a big box. I know Happy Planner has so many like layouts that you can use for that, but I'll put a box and I'll write down some notes or something that I want to be separate from my task list. Okay, and then on the back, you get a weekly note section. So when I first started, I had no idea how to use this. I was like, what am I going to do with that? Now I actually write my weekly review on here, and it's amazing. It's perfect. I love having that. It took me a while to get into a dedicated weekly review because I felt like it was so much work, but it really is beneficial because you can look back on your week and see what the highlights were, what went great, what didn't go great, what you need to work on, your lessons for the week, and that's something that I do every week now. All right, as for the paper quality, so again, I don't have the exact weights. The dashboards are dashboard material, so like they're heavier cardstock. And then the inserts, I guess what I have to do is show you what it looks like. So for example, if I go in here, this week here, this was actually a fountain pen day. And because it was light ink, it shadows a bit. And in heavy spots, it bleeds through. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but it shadows quite a bit. And this is just purple ink. This is the Ferris wheel press ink. But fountain pens, I'm pretty sure, are going to shadow no matter what. Like you can see, like I've got some, when you press hard, you can see that in there. Let's see. This was another fountain pen week. And again, you can see some bleed through right down here. A little bit of bleed through. It depends how hard you write and how much ink comes out. Let's see. Okay, this one was a regular pen. So again, a little bit of shadowing, but not terrible. So regular pen. And my regular pen, I use a Pentel Energel, and I always use 0.7 millimeter. Okay, I don't use 0.5. Sometimes I like the idea of 0.5, but 0.7, I don't know, it's got where my heart is at. So if that's something that that you're concerned about, you can notice that, yeah, there's a little bit of shadowing. So I mean, if you just write and you don't use stickers, it probably would be a bit more noticeable. But yeah, I'd have to say that the paper quality isn't the best, but I think it's important to have somewhat thinner paper in your planner if you're going to, especially if you're going to carry like all the months plus 1 month daily inserts. Your planner can fill up quite quickly. My planner has multiple different sections, so for me, again, this was a fountain pen month. For me, I think that I'm happy with how this looks. Like, it's not terrible. Like for me, it doesn't make me miserable that it bleeds through. But some people are a bit more like susceptible to that, so they might not like that. So yeah. So I mean, there's that. And I'd have to say that for the most part, like Franklin Covey, this was actually dark purple. Let's see how that worked. See, that hardly had anything. There was little spots of bleed through, but not like really bad, not like Sharpie or anything, but mostly just shadowing. I'd have to say that, like, for the most part, Franklin Covey paper is similar. It's very, very much similar. It's not that drastically different, but there are a few inserts that are lighter than others. So I'll try to figure out for you guys which ones are, which ones aren't. Okay, so that was my Beautiful Life weekly. That is the only weekly that I have. I haven't used any other weeklies. I was tempted to go with a weekly for my compact. I was going to use her point of view, but I changed my mind because you know what? I didn't want to use it. I wanted to go back to my DN2 page. Okay, so even though Blooms is my very first, it's under this huge stack that's right beside me. So I'm going to go to my 7 Habits because that's what's on top here. And I brought up the whole stack of my inserts because I just wanted to show you the different colors. These were some of my favorites, you guys. I loved these. And I'd have to say, like, with the Sandstone, they're like exceptional quality. Like, they give you, and I'd have to say that probably this paper is probably thicker than the weeklies that I just showed you. I feel like it's a bit thicker. And so the thing that I liked about it, well, here's one thing that I didn't like, actually. So you know how on the front of a normal month it has an index? These don't. It's got a picture. So it's got a picture and then it's got the next 3 months. You open it up in your calendar. And I love this because at the top, it's got the color of the month, or maybe they're all black. Let me see. No, the color of the month, yeah. And then for the months, they're still lined, but they've got this like kind of cream beige color overview of the days. And I love that separation. Like that's one of the things I absolutely loved about the 7 Habits was that separation. And like the Sandstone has the same thing. But I do like these a bit better because this was white. And so if you whited something out, it wasn't the end of the world. But yeah, these were really, really nice. It just took some time to get used to because the index page is on the back of the monthly. So you don't get your, like a full personal business section. It's broken down into only half a page. And for me, that's a big negative because I like to have a full list of that, right? My months are full of, like they're jam-packed full of things to do. So when it came to these, what I would do is I would use this calendar because I love the calendar so much. And then I would use my Teresa Collins Weekly for the front page because it had the goals. And then I would use the back page because it had a full month of the personal and business. So that's what I would do. But the problem is most people only buy 1 pack of inserts per year. So if that's you, you might run into this problem as well. Okay. Usually for the index, this is probably all the space I would need for that because I don't need like a whole page, but I do like to have the whole page for the master task list. Okay. So then the daily notes. So I took a different page here. But this is what it looks like. So this was 2023 version, so last year. And it starts at 5 or 6 and ends at 9, 10, 11, or 10, 11, 12, I guess you could technically. It gives a quote from the 7 Habits book. And then your prioritized task list is again broken down into 3 quadrants, 3 spots. So I would usually put personal, business, and school or other. And I really liked having that breakdown, especially at the beginning of like last year it worked for me. Now I find that my tasks are just like, literally I take the whole page. I'll usually take 2 spots for business or 2 spots for personal. And then the other one is empty for the other section of my life. But yeah, seriously, like these were, despite the whole front page, they were some of my favorite inserts. So as for the color change, and we'll also show you some of the writing on here as well. So I'm just going to cross these off as we go because, so we did the beautiful life and now we're doing the 7 habits. So it started with, I think the first quarter was like this red color, I have to say. And then the second quarter was black, which actually was quite nice. And then you got into gray. Or wait, let's see. Maybe that's just for the monthly. Anyway, the second quarter was this gray color. And then this was June. Oh yeah, so it's just for the month. It's interesting. So June was still gray. And then like the third quarter was green. And I love this green. I mean, a lot of people might not like that because it depends what planner you're using, but I love that color. I thought it was so sharp and so pretty. Okay. And then I added my weeklies in here as well. But then for the last quarter, you had this beautiful teal. Like, isn't that gorgeous? I loved it so much. Like these were some of my favorite inserts. Like that's why I was so tempted to get them again for my compact for this year. And I mean, it's still a possibility. I might go back that way. We'll see, because they were so nice. But let's find a page where I wrote on. Okay, so for example, let's look right here. Do I have a monthly that I wrote on? Probably. We'll look here. So this was regular pen, so it was not fountain pen. I wonder if that was fountain pen. That might have been, because that was a really dark pen. So this was fountain pen. I did bleed through. So this paper, I wanted to say it was heavier, but I think it's actually about the same thickness as the weeklies I had before. So definitely you can see the shadowing that happened right here. And there was kind of bleed through a little bit in certain spots, but again, it's a fountain pen. If you use a regular pen, let's see if we can find that. Okay, here's a regular pen. So again, just pretty much like the pressing of the pen on the paper, you can see it's kind of bumpy, and then it's also a little bit of shadow, but there's no bleed through. It's only like here, it's only when I use a fountain pen that it bled through just a tiniest of bits, like just a little bit there. But yeah, regular pen just shadows. So, I mean, the paper, again, because it's down 2 page, you're getting so many inserts. For personally, I only have a month at a time in my planner. I do not put the entire, I don't even put the entire monthlies in my planner because it would take up so much valuable real estate, I just wouldn't have room. So the next, I have to say, let's talk about these first. This is like the only original pack that I had, and I actually had some blooms in here too. That's weird. For my compact, so I guess I did have blooms at one point in my compact. I didn't think I did. But yeah, so for my compact, I had, well, let's talk about compact actually right now. So the only ones that I had were the blooms, which again, they're pretty much like any pack, and I think I only have the monthlies in here, so I can't even show you what it looked like for the dailies. But the blooms, and then I used the original only for a little bit because I had gotten a binder. I had purchased a binder from somebody. It was a secondhand binder, and she had included some inserts. So that was very, very thoughtful, and it was like a whole quarter. So I just tried them out, and I used them until I got her point of view in July. That's what I did. And so for these ones, I actually used, this was ballpoint pen. And so ballpoint pen, again, it's shadowed a little bit. So like I used pink on this side here. Oops. I used pink right here. And if you look on this side, you can see the shadow of the pink, but it wasn't terrible. But I'd have to say, like, I don't know, like the color of this, these are the original. You can kind of see they're just not my cup of tea. Like I didn't love using original. I mean, it felt nice because it was in a new binder and I was like, ooh, so excited. But original, they're just so bland for me. And like, I like the color, but it's just not for me. But yeah, but they do go from like 4 or 5 to like 10 or 11. So, I mean, they've got a really good time range on their appointment schedule, and that's for compact. And then blooms, this was just regular pen. So again, and then the monthlies are a little bit heavier paper than the dailies, so you can't really tell in between here. But this is what I would do. Like I used to like writing my monthly stuff in, and then the daily would just be there. So yeah, so I don't know. I really like the compact. I think these inserts are just so cute. Okay, so then, as far as like compact goes, so here I've got her point of view. So these were last year from July, I think July 2023 to June of 2024 is when they went to. And so I loved these. Like they were my favorite. I'm trying to find where I did one here. This was for Halloween last year. So again, I use smaller stickers. This is regular pen. Again, they shadow through a little bit, but it's the same paperweight as the other 2 inserts I've already shown you. And they're, I think it's just fountain pen that I sometimes have issues with. Now, these inserts, I love her point of view. I also have the classic size, so we'll talk about that too. The compact go from 7 to 9. Okay, they don't have any like time above or below. The only thing is the task list is shortened because it's got this artwork here. And while the artwork is absolutely beautiful and I love it, I think it would have been good over here maybe. But it is what it is. The thing I like about it, so when I bought these, they actually had the new artwork. So they had an older point her point of view. And so, like I say, every now and then, Franklin Covey or Franklin Planner does update their planners. So they'll have like new artwork designs, or I've also seen that, well, with Flora, and then I've seen it with Seasons as well. So they'll have new artwork, and occasional different scenery. But yeah, these ones were so cute, and I loved, especially actually for compact, because I have way fewer compact binders than I do classic, and I loved her point of view for compact. I think they were adorable. They went with almost all of my binders, and I loved the pastel colors on the top. Like, this was like, they're so beautiful. Like, I would totally buy these again, and I think I might. Like, we'll see how it goes. But because right now for compact, I only have Carrara for 2025. Speaking of Carrara, let's take a look. So these are the new ones. I did do my haul video as well. I should have posted that before this video, I'm pretty sure. So these are the Carrara. So they're so cute. You can go from 4 to 5 in the morning to 10, 11, 12 if you wanted to, but technically they're 6 to 9. And then they have your daily task list, and instead of a picture, they've got a daily tracker at the bottom, and then your whole page of notes. So the thing about the Carrara is that they don't change throughout the year. It's exactly the same marble pattern the whole way through. The only thing about them is that they're cool toned. So if you have a warm toned binder, you know, like if you're matchy and you don't like that, that's the only negative. But I think that they'll fit no matter what binder you use. I've seen so many people online with these, and they look great no matter what. Honestly, they really do. And the thing about them too is that they're so neutral that if you're a functional planner, you can use pens, you can use colored pens, highlighters, whatever. But you can also decorate like I do. I use washi and stickers. My compact doesn't really see that as much, but sometimes I'll use some stickers in my compact just for funsies and make it look pretty. So the only thing that we would have to do is a 10, wait. So I'm actually not going to do a pen test in these, but the paper is the same as all of the other ones that I have talked about so far. Oh, I have this little piece in there. I don't think I need that. And I never mentioned this, but sometimes some of the, like, you get a few pieces of paper at the beginning here. This is right after the future planning. But sometimes you'll actually, like, I think I actually pulled those out already, because what I do, when I put my inserts into my binders, before I do that, how they come, they have all of the monthly tabs together, and then the daily inserts are at the back. So I separate mine. I take my monthly calendar, so I'll take January, and then I'll put all of January inserts right behind it, so that when I go to start my planning for that month, I can just take out that pack, and then I take it out, put it in my binder, and I'm good to go. Okay, so that's what I do. Okay, so now let's talk about some of my favorite inserts that Franklin has ever had. These are the Flora from, let's look at the year, because I do not remember. Okay, these were from 2022. I loved these. I just wish that they offered them again, but maybe what I'll do is I'll take a picture. I'm actually going to take a picture of them right now. I'll take a picture and I'll post it what the 2024 version looks like, or maybe this is the 2025. Let's see. So Flora is only offered in classic. Yeah, they have January 2025 to December 2025. So some planners, the popular ones, will go from, they'll have options from January to December, and they'll do July to June, but these ones are only January to December, and they're only in classic. If they were in compact, I'd probably buy them in compact. I'm not a fan of those new ones. I prefer this old one. I think they were so pretty. The colors were beautiful. I just loved these inserts. So yeah, I wanted to show a monthly calendar because I was like, oh yeah, I remember using my Chrissy Ann design stickers on these. And I actually went over the dates, and I did my lettering and stuff. I used to plan so differently back in the day, and I thought those were so cute, and I wanted to do all pink on the green insert. It's so weird, but that's what I did. And then on the back of them, so this was the back of the monthly. The front of the monthly had the index page like normal, but the back of the monthly, and you can see these weren't lined. They were, I wonder if the new ones are. No, they're not. So they were open, so you could plan however you wanted to, but I felt the boxes were a bit smaller because of all of the artwork at the top. So the new ones don't have as high a low as artwork, but these ones were just beautiful. I just love them. And then on the back, they had just a notes page. This is where I put my master task list, my to-do list. Okay, and then the biggest difference with these, I don't know, I felt like the paper quality was maybe a bit thicker on these ones than it was on other ones, but you know what, honestly, I think they're very comparable, very similar in paper weight. So the biggest difference with these is that you had a to-do list, right? And I felt like the lines were a little bit wider on these as well. And then you had this blank space down here with the month, but instead of like an actual like time block schedule, all you had on here was morning, afternoon, and evening. And for a while, I was in love with this setup because for me as a stay-at-home mom, like I also do my online business, of course, but for a stay-at-home mom, this worked way better. So for example, if I had a morning appointment, I would just simply put in the time. I'd say 9 o'clock, doctor appointment. Or if it was afternoon, I'd say 3 o'clock, pick up son, or something to that nature, right? Now I kind of like having the time. I guess I've changed in my planning style, but if this color were to come out again, I would be all over it. I love these inserts so much. They were probably my favorite in all of the inserts I've purchased so far. And I loved, it was mostly the artwork. It almost looked like it was stenciled on, you know, beautiful. And I loved the font. I loved everything about them. But yeah, so let's see if I can, and I'll show you the different colors too. So this was the front page. It had like the pink on the bottom, the teal, Flora, and then the blue here. And so it had like, well, I want to say teal. It had green, it had pink, blue, and then it had this beautiful light aqua at the bottom. So let's find a page here. So their calendar. So I think I used just regular pen on these, and again, the tiniest bit of shadowing, but like you can see maybe on this page here, this, I think they were a little bit thicker. They feel thicker. I don't know. They don't feel as flimsy as the other inserts. And so you can't quite tell, but there was definitely shadowing. There was still shadowing, just not as heavy as the other inserts so far. And I can guarantee you right now that I never used fountain pens because I did not have fountain pens at this point in my life. But this is how I used it. So I would put like something that happened in the afternoon, something that happened in the morning, and then evening. And then I'd put other tasks. It didn't matter what time they were, I would put them here. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know. I wish that they came out with these again because I love them. So pretty. So then as for colors, let's just look at that. Wow. Some of those stickers were so big. It's funny, if you guys have ever looked back at your inserts, this is probably the first time that I have. I used some of my own. That one I didn't use. I like that one because it was blue and green. And that was so pretty. Like, I mean, you guys, they're just gorgeous. In September I used, that was for something else. And then the last color here, I actually didn't use these ones. I didn't even use December. Oh my goodness, that makes me so sad. It makes me sad to see these not used, but I must have used something else that month. So yeah, so those colors, they're just beautiful. So anyway, so that was the Flora from 2022. Let's move on to seasons. So now I don't have the new seasons. These are also from 2022. Let's see. I think this whole stack is seasons here. And sometimes I add my weeklies in there, and I add like other inserts that I've used. But yeah, these ones are just seasons. From 2022, they have changed it for 2025. I'm going to see if I can leave a picture of those ones as well. Let me just find them here for you. So seasons, the reason why I got seasons for this year was because I fell in love with the blue summer landscape. I fell in love. That was pretty much why I got it. And then I ended up matching my binder. I think I had the Olivia binder, the faux leather Olivia binder, which I'll show in my binder collection video. Like, the whole reason I got the seasons planner was because of the summer months, like this one here. Yeah. So I just said, nope, not doing it. So for January, you get this like pretty winter scene. I think this actually changed too. I liked the old one better than the new one. So like that new one was like winter trees, kind of like this, but it was definitely more gray and not as blue. So this still had some purple and blue in it. I'll find a day here. Let's see. Maybe right here. So like you can see, like, it had definitely more purple and blue in there, and I love that. Even though I hate winter, I loved this color. And then for spring, you had this beautiful tulip field. I think they're tulips. Yeah, they were tulips. So right here. And that was so pretty. I love that. And then of course for summer, like for the Q3, you had the lovely, like this one. Like I loved it. I loved it so much. And I remember this too. We were camping, and I remember having my binder. I think I used the blue Olivia binder, and we had taken it camping, and I just had the best, yeah, I just had the best time, like filling in my planner. So this is something that we did. We came home and I wrote out all of this stuff when we were camping. Isn't that just like, oh, it just makes me so sad. So yeah, but anyway, I used regular pen, and so you can't tell on these as much. I feel like, okay, the paper's got to be very, very similar, but I almost feel like it's a bit thinner than the previous ones. Like it's really flimsy. But the difference here is that because it had such a design on it, so like you've got the dark outside design, but on the inside you still have this slight design, but it's very shadowy. You can't see through, and you can't see the shadowing as much. You can still see a little bit, but just not as bad. So I feel like that's a benefit, I guess, to the season's inserts. A lot of people don't like them because they don't want to see the picture behind. But I mean, these were so pretty. I even decided to change my writing style for a while. I did a slanting writing style. That's so weird. Such a weirdo. As for the fall, I loved how fall looked like. I remember, oh yeah, this was when I was pregnant with my son. Oh. It's such memories to kind of go back through everything and just look at it all. But anyway, so this was the color, and I loved it. The colors in this were, I feel like they were a lot more vibrant than they are now, and I think that's why I liked them so much better. If they had stayed the same, I more than likely would have gone with these for 2024 because I did enjoy them so much. But then they changed them, and then I didn't like them. So I think, again, that's kind of, it's a small change. I mean, it's not like they're getting rid of the season's inserts completely, but even something as small as that where they change the design, I think that could always throw people off, especially if they love a design so much that they won't buy them again. But at the same time, I look at it as a positive because it gives you a chance to explore other inserts. So moving on, these are the last of the old inserts that I have. These are the looms. So again, these were the first inserts. I don't think I have a bigger pack with me. These were the very first inserts that I ever bought. Oh, I'm all over the place here. Wow. Let's see if I can get some. There we go. Okay. So they had 4 different pictures. So on they had white tulips, and this was for January to March, I believe. Or maybe they were pink tulips. I can't really tell, but they were pretty neutral. Like they weren't that vibrant. And then I believe for quarters 2 and 3, I think they were much more pink. And then for December, of course, it was like these white flowers. So you could kind of like to go along with the seasons, right? Let me see if I can take a picture of that as well and see what they have nowadays. I haven't bought blooms for 2024. So I had them in 2021 and then I had them in 2023. I'm trying to see if I had any pen testing on here. So I can write with my pen now. Let's see, I just need to find a regular one. These are old inserts, so this is my regular pen, and then I'll write with my fountain pen as well. So keep in mind that this fountain pen is a fine nib, and that's all I write in my planner with. Okay, so fountain pen, there's a tiniest bit of bleed through on here, but you can definitely, I'd have to say that out of like, blooms are probably really thin as well. Like they feel as thin as the seasons. And because they're so pastel, you can still have you still see this pattern on it, but because they're so pastel, you can really see black ink through them. So it shadows for sure, even with regular pen. And then the fountain pen bled through a tiny bit. So I would definitely use like a 0.5. I think a 0.5 would be a whole lot better because again, I told you I used a 0.7 in mine. Okay, so now what we're going to do is go through the inserts that I'm currently using. So the first set, we've already looked at her point of view in Compact, but these are the ones I've been using for my classic, and I have been loving them. I love the colors. This is the new set. Let's go to a month that I haven't used yet. And this is this was August I hadn't used. I will be using for October, and I don't know about November, December yet, but they're so pretty. I mean, I just love them. The only thing that sucks about them, the only downfall for me is that the daily task list is not that big because it's got this big picture at the bottom and it takes up quite a big chunk of space. And so a lot of times what I'll find myself doing is continuing my list on the daily notes page, which again is fine. Like I got these for the artwork. I just love them. Gosh, like the beauty of them is just beyond compare. I just love them so much. And again, I would definitely buy these again. So I just want to find a place where I was writing. This was definitely, you know what, this was a medium tip fountain pen. So you can see, actually, they're not super thin, but they're very comparable to all the other inserts I've showed you. I used a medium fountain pen and it didn't bleed through hardly at all. Like there's spots where the shadowing is a bit heavier, but not bleed through. And it's interesting because these are like white inserts. So again, you can see here maybe definite shadowing here. Yeah, these were for sure. That was a medium fountain pen nib. And then this was a fine, maybe it was still medium, but it was lighter ink. So again, you can still see the shadowing, but again, it's not as vivid because it was a lot lighter ink. This was a regular pen here, I believe. Right here. So again, shadowing, but definitely no bleed through. So yeah, so these are one set that I'm using for 2024. Okay, and then the other one is the Leadership. And now Leadership, this is the first time that I tried Leadership, and I really enjoyed the colors of Leadership. You'll see the last quarter is missing because I put all of the months into my current binder for my son's school. So I just wanted to add those in the school section. But these were really nice. And the main reason I got these is because it had a full daily task list spot. It didn't have anything hindering the bottom of it. I could just write my list and I was good to go. The appointments go from 4 or 5 to 9 or 10. Well, you can go 10, 11, 12, I guess. And then it had the whole page of note page available. The only thing is that the only colors available are blue. So the first quarter was like this darker blue, and then each of the pages is like, they alternate. So you've got like this canyon picture at the top, and then I think each week changes. Then there was this gold like one. And then it had a notes page. Oh, I didn't take that out. Anyway, and then it had this elephant one, and it had this artistic, like this architectural design on there. And then it had this one. So yeah, so I mean, they change per quarter, and they changed weekly as well. So I mean, the designs are cool, and I would recommend this planner to somebody who doesn't really care about like the colors of the planner as much. And they're still pretty. Like I really like this color for April. That was a really pretty color. The months are lined, and it's, you know, wide open. You've got a lot of space there to write down what you need to write. Again, the months, like the pages of the months too, like not just the ones with tabs, are a little bit heavier. They're not cardstock per se, but they're definitely heavier paper. You've got your personal business task list, which is nice and open. This is kind of how I like my task lists to go. Like it's really big, really open. You've got your index, and also the front of this has an index as well. So you've got the month index, and then the daily, and then your entire months. So I'm just going to try to find one that I used here. I might have already put it away. Let's see. I know I used one here. Okay, so January. So I think this was my regular pen. So I think it was this one, the Pentel Energel 0.7. So you can see that it shadows a bit, but there's no bleed through at all. You can see right there. And yeah, so this was for the beginning of this year. So I didn't use this one as much as I thought I would. I definitely stayed in her point of view more. But I felt like this was nice because I felt like I could get organized, and I felt really good. So the last inserts we have are the new ones that I got, the Carrara and the Sandstone. So I did show these in my haul video. I won't be writing in them yet, but the paper quality is about the same as all the other ones I showed. So I'm going to go ahead and say that using my 0.7, it's going to shadow, and my fountain pen, it's going to shadow and perhaps bleed through in areas where the ink is a little bit heavier. So the Carrara, the one thing I can say about these is that they're very neutral. There's no changes whatsoever in any of the days. Every day looks the same, which is good for people who want their planner to be neutral, and especially if it's a work planner, I think. So the months, the front page has the index page. You go into the calendar, which is lined. I like it because it's just so plain, and you can just write down anything or use stickers if you want. Okay, you've got your master task list on the back. And then for the days, you have a fairly large room. I think this would be enough room for me. And then the daily tracker at the bottom. So you can put anything here like water, like they say, track expenses, email, voicemail, or other information. But then the time, it's funny because unless this hasn't been updated yet, the compact was like earlier from like 6 or 7 to like 9 or 10. And this one starts at 8 and ends at 8. So I find that interesting. I mean, most people don't have appointments after, like before 8 or after 8 o'clock, and you can still write them in this little spot up here. But sometimes I like to write when I got up. So if I wake up at 5, I like to have the room to say, okay, I woke up at 5, filmed a video from 5 to 7, etc., etc. But, it is what it is. So then you have a full page of notes here on the other side, and then you also get a quote at the top of the page. Okay, and then that's it for Carrara. So I like Carrara because it is so neutral, and you can decorate it if you choose to decorate, if that's something that you like to do. I think Carrara are great because they are such a neutral option, and I'm really excited to use these. Starting this for 2025. Okay, so now I've already put these in a binder. These are the last inserts that I'll be showing you today, and these are the Sandstone inserts. So Sandstone are very similar to the 7 Habits that I showed earlier, except the 7 Habits are a more masculine version, I feel, and the Sandstone are definitely more feminine. And the main difference is that the entire page of the Sandstone inserts are shaded this like color. So I think it changes every little bit here so you can see sometimes the color is different. Let's see. The quarter 3 is a little bit more pink toned than the first quarter or two. And then, yeah, I don't know, it's very, very slight. You can barely tell, but I can kind of tell. So the monthly starts off, again, you've got your index, you've got your monthly, which are lined. The only thing I'd be scared of is maybe white out, because then you're going to be able to see it really easily. You've got your personal business on the back, another index page on the front of the dailies, and then you get into your dailies. Ooh, what's this? There's like dirt or something in this insert. Weird. I wonder if it's just like that on that page. Yeah, something got on there. It's not too big of a deal, but that was weird. So anyway, the thing I like about these is, again, they're very similar to the 7 Habits in that they have the 3 sections. So I break mine up into personal, school, and business. And then you can really like see what you've got to do at every section per day. They start at 7 and at 9, but you can extend those with those blank spots on the top and the bottom, and then a whole page of notes. So I really like these, and I'm excited to use these as well. Again, they're also very neutral. It's just whiteout is really going to show up on these, and you can still use stickers. I just think this is a bit more of a warm tone compared to the Carrara. So that was my reasoning for this year, was that if I'm using like a warm tone binder, I can use these. And if I'm using a cool tone binder, I can use my Carrara. So also, the other difference is, similar to the 7 Habits, is that you get a starter pack with this. You also get this really thick note card. It says welcome, and then it tells you to apply the concepts of the 7 Habits of highly effective people in your life. And then it gives you a little bit of a personal commitment page. It also gives you the 7 Habits breakdown of Stephen Covey's book, which is, it's really interesting. It's kind of like Cliff's Notes version of the book. The book is fairly dry. I've read it twice. It is a little dry, and for me anyway, it was really hard to get through, but there are some interesting sections within the book. And I don't know, I really like these inserts. They come with the intro pack, so it comes with the rules and goals. Otherwise, if you buy anything other than the 7 Habits or Sandstone, you have to purchase it separate. But yeah, I think it's really neat. You also pay a little bit more money for these guys as well. But generally, classic inserts range from like $50 to like $67 is the price range. So and those are US prices. So that is it for this video. I hope I gave you guys some helpful information. I know I wasn't exact in the prices or the paperweight, but I think you could kind of see from the writing like how it looked anyway, and the benefits of some of the inserts. And I hope I gave you guys some helpful information on the inserts that I've used so far. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to leave them down below. Just ask and I'll respond as soon as I can. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. If you are new, please subscribe, click on the bell button, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.